So tonight, I got another pipe in the mail. This thing came in, like a week ago? It was like $35 on eBay. And of course, in it, I got Cornell and Deal apricots and cream. I was trying the berries and cream. I liked it, but there was some small aspect of the flavor that just reminded me of like cleaning agents or maybe like an antique thrift shop or something. Some like perfumey flavor I didn't like. But this doesn't have it. It's really nice. It doesn't have it. Both Cornell and Deal. This one seems a little bit more toward what I like. But it's all, it's a, what do you call it? Black Cavendish type blend. Pretty much all black Cavendish. So this pipe did not come looking like this, obviously. Came with a straight stem. It's a little bit different looking stem. It was a little bit thinner than this. I needed a thicker stem for the work I did fixing this this mortise area, because I'm dumb. So, originally had a different stem on it. The little mortise tenon screw-in type fitting, it looked like the same. So I thought, oh, it must be the same. So I just tried putting this other one in there, and it goes in like 2 millimeters, like almost nothing, and immediately snaps, so it breaks. So I think there was some very incredibly tiny, like minute difference between the one tenon. The old tenon was probably thinner, and this one was probably just slightly thicker. Who knew? And of course, it breaks apart. So I tried using CA glue, super glue, glue it together. Didn't work. It broke apart again, like in another place right after I'd glued it, and I tried putting the other stem on again. So that didn't work out. So of course I took JB Weld later, and of course just had to mix it up really carefully, put it on the new like cracked area, so it puts that together. But also I put a layer of JB Weld around the entire thing. So it was around all of it, basically just to protect it, or just kind of have like a sleeve around it, almost like making a band, like a nickel band out of JB Weld, that kind of a thing. And it worked, and it didn't break apart. I tried putting a lot more pressure on, just kind of testing it. And of course, then when you put the mouthpiece on, it looks kind of weird. Like it's got like a weird little like area where it doesn't fit properly, and some of like the cracks kind of like poked out, kind of made like almost a different shaped stem, unfortunately, or what do you call it, shank area. So of course I used this sterling silver ring. It's a little sterling silver ring that I've just had in my drawer for the longest time. Doesn't fit any of my fingers, but it fit perfectly on here, which was nice. So I put it on there. I JB welded it onto there basically. And so I kind of have a new, almost a new little interaction point here between, I don't know what you want to call it, but you see that? The ring sticks out a little further. So this mouthpiece, which actually just perfectly fits inside of the diameter of the ring, kind of hides in there, and it looks kind of okay. It's very hacky, of course, very unprofessional, but it works. And of course, JB Weld that's clear just doesn't look good. And so in the future, I feel like if I'm going to do this, I might find a way to use like, you can put like pigments in epoxy, right? So I think I'd probably in the future like put some kind of white pigment, or like a white, almost like opalescent like pigment in there that looks kind of like this. It's kind of like the Meerschaum. I think that's what I would hope for, or maybe even put Meerschaum dust in it. I don't know if it'd work. I should probably test it out first. But using the clear JB Weld was kind of a mistake. It looked really bad, and so I thought, what if I just dyed it like black or something? So I thought, black, it just wouldn't show or something. I wouldn't be able to see it very much. So I dyed the whole thing black with 5-inch black leather dye, just painted on there really carefully, and it looks horrible because there's little cracks and grooves and crevices where the JB Weld had kind of gone over cracks and things, and it looked really bad. So I started to sand it, and of course as I sand it, it starts to like peel off little bits of JB Weld. So I don't know, it just doesn't look very good. It's not my favorite job I've done so far. So my hope is that maybe I'll take another epoxy and put like a white pigment in it or something to make it very opaque, as incredibly opaque as I can, and then put a layer over all this, when it's kind of goopy and as it's kind of setting. Maybe that'll kind of help cover it all up, so it'll just be like a white. That'd be nice in the future. I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll do it. But for now, it's functional. It's a little scary because it's JB Weld and it's kind of close to the warm spots here, but I tried to make sure that the actual air passage itself has no contact with the welding compound, and I think it might be far enough away from the flame where it won't heat up and just ooze chemicals. That's my hope. I don't know. But so far it just smokes like a normal Meerschaum, from what I can tell. He basically kind of reamed it, like not actual ream, but using sandpaper to kind of ream it down to just the stone, you know, just the Meerschaum itself. Oh, it feels dry. Feels like a nice dry smoke. But I do think the shape is a little strange. It's kind of a weird shape. I mean, the face shape is strange in the first place, these figural head pieces. Kind of a strange shape. But this too, it's very, very odd. And I think my eye isn't pulled to the ram's head, it's pulled to this little thing, like the body of the ram underneath. Kind of looks like that's what the pipe is, and this is like a little addition to it or something. Like I want to put little eyes on here. Like it's like a duck bill or something like that. Kind of a strange design. And of course the stem looked like a pretty standard acrylic stem. It was the same, almost the same kind of material looking as this one. It wasn't that like really, I don't know what you call that almost pale yellow color that Bakelite is made of. And of course, if I was editing one of these Bakelite stems, I had to be really careful because the dust, the Bakelite dust has, I think, an asbestos in it, or a lot of them do. So very bad stuff to inhale. I think it smokes nicely. It's the first time I smoked it. I had to wait a long time for that epoxy to cure 100%. At least I'm afraid that it'll not cure enough if I don't wait enough days. It looks kind of bad though. I mean, look, this looks gross. It looks bad. Maybe I'll use like almost like an amber, like yellow color, because usually that's where you get a lot of coloration anyway, right? You get a lot of coloration here toward the shank area. I think like the smoke tends to billow out onto there. That's what I see with my other Meerschaums. I'm just assuming they didn't actually use a coloring bowl or whatever you call those. I don't know, is this worth it? It's like $36, and you get basically a broken pipe in a sense, you know, a pipe that needs work. You work on it, you apply different things to it, you like have to buy materials, you have to buy welding compound, like super glue, etc. It's like in the end of the day, you're spending of your time and of other materials, you're spending like $60, $70 almost on just these like old restoration projects, right? So I guess like my other Meerschaums I got, you know, technically for free, that came broken. So maybe those are worth it, but I don't know about this. Like going on eBay and buying like old Meerschaums, they're like $36, $40, $50. I don't know if it's really worth it. I mean, you can just go on smoking pipes and get like an AKB, kind of smaller, maybe low quality Meerschaum, I don't know, for like $50, $60, $70, $100. Fun stuff. And of course I'm using this tamp from Anton Pipe Studios, Anton. I think they're based out of Ukraine. They make lots of cool little things. Pearwood pipes, mortar pipes, mortar. Of course briar pipes too, but also neat little tamps like this that have a brass weighted little tamp area. It's got that Carpathian deer antler on the top. Kind of neat. Was it worth $30? I don't know. But I love it. Alright, goodbye now.